I even I shocked the Fuji representatives about a week and a half ago when I mentioned to a person beside of me that works for the Department of Criminal Justice, he's one of their photographers, about the fact that Fujifilm next year is coming out with a medium format camera. And this is why it's important. Pay attention. The Fuji people had their eyes got really big, wide open, and they said, "We're not saying anything." I said, "I know you're not saying anything." I said, I know what's happening, and I know why it's happening. I won't indicate the sort of expressions that were on their face. Here's the reason it's going on. By the way, if you were to go on eBay and you were to type in Fujifilm lenses, you'd actually find a lot of ultra-large, extremely high-precision, large format lenses. Yeah, Fuji's been making some enormous glass for a long time. They also manufacture some of Hasselblad's medium format lenses. Here's why it's important. Now, Hasselblad has already announced their mirrorless medium format. Okay, well, isn't that nice for $9,000? This is why I knew Fuji was going to do it. It's going to be announced September the 19th or 20th for Photokina, and they're going to unveil it then. Whether they announce the price then or not, I don't know. This was mentioned over on Mirrorless rumors, and it might have been mentioned on Fuji rumors as far as the announcement date, but I knew that this was coming regardless. The reason for that is right now in the digital medium format world, which is dominated by fashion, product photography, and commercial work. Most of you obviously do not, you think, oh, a huge sensor and a huge lens, and yeah, there are advantages to that. Fuji's going to release this camera. It's going to be made better than the Hasselblad. It is for sure going to be a lot cheaper than their $9,000 mirrorless medium format Hasselblads. It's probably going to be in the range of $5,000 to $7,000. It's easily more than likely going to be $2,000 less than the Hasselblad. It's probably going to be, it could be as cheap as $4,500 or $4,800. The reason for this and why it's going to happen is right now out there in digital medium format, there is a lot of insane, whether that's mirrorless or not, doesn't matter. There's a lot of really, really insanely expensive stuff like Mamiya used by commercial photography. It is absolutely outside the reach of any normal photographer. What Fuji is going to do, and they knew what they're going to do, and this is why they're doing it, is they're going to have a low price point on that mirrorless medium format camera with its enormous sensor in it. They're going to offer 3 or 4 lenses to start out with. And like I said, you have to realize that Fuji's been making enormous lenses for decades now. It's not any stretch to go from 8x10 and 4x5 large format lenses to medium format. I mean, that, you're talking about a sensor, which is not a sensor, a piece of film like this, compared to a medium format sensor, which is like this. No big issue on the glass front. Fuji can handle that. They've been doing it for decades. Number 2, they will absolutely dominate everybody else. They will own, and listen up, this is the key point. Fuji will own everybody's fanny. Everybody. And right now it's like, okay, Nikon and Canon, and we have some little people back here in mirrorless. We have, we have Phony, building overheating cameras, and we have Fuji over here building quality stuff, and everybody's really loving Fuji. This is where Fuji, in one fell swoop, will absolutely sweep the field, and they will be king of the hill. They know this, and I know this. Okay? While there is digital medium format out there, it is like Mamiya. Okay, mess with some of the Mamiyas. You should actually take. Now the files are enormous. They're rather difficult to mess with, but it's not meant for action and sports. But we're talking about true professional commercial work, like Learjet needs a commercial shot of their new jet. I mean, this is what digital. This is where it is justified. High-end portraiture, high-end fashion photography and modeling. Okay. This is where this stuff shines and excels. I mean, you could crop the hell out of it. You could do all sorts of neat stuff that you cannot do with even a 50 megapixel RAW file off of a Canon. Fuji will absolutely dominate the living hell and tar piss, top to bottom, front to back, everybody else. In one fell swoop, Fuji will own everybody. I'm being crude here, but I'm also being extremely accurate. Fuji will own everybody's ass on this frontier. There is just no question about that. They're going to have like a $6,000. It could be as cheap as $5,000. Okay. While the fact that the buffers don't have to be large. We're not talking about brrr. We don't have to worry about enormous buffers for super gigantic files. I mean, we're talking about fine art, portraiture, and fashion, and corporate gig work sort of photography. Okay? Most of you don't need that for obvious. You would love the results of it. You would want to hang yourself after editing and messing. It'll just choke your computer to death if you don't have a really decent computer. But it's something that gives someone an edge when they're doing corporate work and commercial and fashion. And some of the dynamic range is beyond incredible. I mean, the dynamic range you can get out of that is really neat. So they're going to have 3 lenses and this cheap camera. Not cheap as in cheap, but cheap as in cheap in price. And they will own everybody's ass. Mamiya will be blown into the dust. The Hasselblad will be like it will just be a laughing stock at $9,000. I mean, when it comes to digital camera, Hasselblad and Leica used to mean something, and I sold these cameras back in the day. It's like these were like little fine Rolexes. Okay, the way the internal components are smooth. This is the age of digital, baby. All the electronics inside there is Japanese and Chinese, okay? So when it comes to digital, the name Leica and Hasselblad don't mean a damn thing anymore. I'm sorry to say that, but that's the fact. The glass matters, of course. But when it comes to digital photography, no. Hasselblad and Leica don't mean anything. Fuji already owns Leica's fanny when it comes to a true Leica digital, and that would be the X100T, and priorly the X100S. And by the way, according to Fuji rumors, the next iteration, which I knew was going to come out in April, is going to be called the X100F. So the huge news from Fuji is, and this is what you need to realize, and I'm the first person announcing this, not the fact that they're going to announce. Fuji rumors and Mirrorless rumors announced the fact that they're going to reveal this in September the 19th, which is like 17 days from now. The huge news that you're not going to read about is why is Fuji doing this. The reason that Fuji is doing this is they will own everybody's butt. And they will have a mirrorless medium format camera that will be high quality and will be pretty damn inexpensive. What the lenses are, I have no idea, but they're probably going to follow suit. For certain, it's going to be far superior in construction and capabilities than the expensive $9,000 Hasselblad that is coming soon, that's already been announced. And so, Hasselblad and Mamiya and the rest of the makers of digital medium format will be left in the dust. Nikon has nothing. Sony has nothing. Sony never had anything. Canon has nothing. Olympus has nothing. Fuji will own it. Fuji will own everybody's butt, and that's just the easiest and simplest way to say it. They've already got the technology for huge glass. They've had it for decades. All they had to do was stick in a large sensor and sort of a large camera body, and Fuji knew this. This is why Fuji did this. People are saying, why is Fuji getting into the medium format market? I thought Fuji should no. Fuji's making crop sensors, and they're going to make a medium format. Fuji doesn't need the own to try to play in the full-frame sensor market. The APS-C crop sensors, the firmware and signal processing is already so good that the advantages between full-frame and crop sensor that used to be here are like this now. Okay? There are advantages and disadvantages to both systems. But with Fuji coming out with this medium format, they will own everybody's butt. And it is as simple as that. And they will have a market that has been priorly closed to everybody else because the only people that were buying the $30,000 Mamiyas and whatnot are people that could justify it, or people that were into fine art, fashion, and portraiture. It was a total another realm, But now we have normal photographers down here that are complaining about a $3,000 Nikon D810, and then you've got Mamiya up here at $30,000, and now you got a Hasselblad at about $10,000 bucks. Well, Fuji's going to release a camera that's going to be relatively very inexpensive, and they are just going to own everybody's ass. And it's as simple as that, and that is why Fuji is doing it. They will have market that nobody else has at a price point that nobody comes even close to. You're talking about 4, 5, 6, 7,000 bucks versus 30,000 bucks up here. And it will be a superior product. And Fuji knows this. And this is why Fuji is rolling out medium format digital camera here in about 18 days. Okay, that is the reason why, and it is very logical, very intelligent strategy on their part. And when that happens, everybody else is going to have their butts burned. Thanks. Bye.